Welcome to the latest edition of the Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hagan. With me today is one of the greatest basketball players to ever come out of Jersey City. He had a great career at Snyder High School, then went on to have probably an even better career at Syracuse University in their glory days, and then went on and had a good career in the NBA and also played overseas. And it's my friend Rafael Addison. Raf, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm great. Always great. God got us living another day.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, when we get to our age, you open up the papers and you just don't want to see your name on the obituary page, right?
Well, I guess if I'm gone, I'm not going to see it anyway.
Yeah, right.
But I don't want to see any friends or any loved ones or anybody we grew up with.
That's it. We've seen too many of those already. Some of your closest friends too, which is sad. All right, but we're gonna let's go back to your childhood, and obviously you were born and raised in Jersey City. And did you play all sports when you were a little kid? Did you play all basketball, baseball, football, or was it strictly basketball?
Well, when I was a little kid, football was my first love, and
was it really? Yeah.
Yeah, I played recreation football.
Okay, who'd you play for? The Greenville Tigers?
No, I played for the Bergen Colts.
Bergen Colts, okay.
And we were really good.
Okay.
And I thought I was going to be a pro football player.
Okay, what position did you play?
Well, I played defensive end and also tight end.
Okay.
Both ways, and that was my first chance to be in like organized sports and have that kind of. Cause I grew up in a single parent home, had that father figure.
Yep.
My coaches.
And who were the coaches of the Bergen Colts then?
And I know my last name, Mr. Watson,
yep.
Mr. Levine. They passed on, but
okay.
A lot of respect for those guys. They were like father figures for me.
Good. Well, you needed to have some sort of guidance in your life at that point when you were a young kid, right?
Right. Well, we played all sports. Baseball wasn't my thing, but I played it because I lived next door to Kenny Coleman, and we was all friends. And he wound up playing at St. Mary's and playing in the minor league.
Yep.
With Michael Jordan actually was playing with him.
Right. And I don't know if you saw The Last Dance, but he got his chance to get interviewed on The Last Dance. Did you see that?
I didn't see that part. I fall asleep on because I go to bed a little earlier now.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the rerun, but Kenny lived right next door.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As we was kids, his grandmother and his aunt and everybody. So I had to play a little baseball in the schoolyard with him.
Okay.
But I didn't really, yell the baseball cards. He was in love with baseball. I didn't take the baseball. It was more football and basketball for me.
Okay. And then when did you start to grow, Raf? Were you tall all your entire life, or did you have like a growth spurt that made you go all the way to 6'7"?
It's funny you say that. I think adversity is what makes you. But I had to go through a roadblock, during my high school career. Where it didn't happen at 8th grade. I went as a freshman. Back then we played ball. My whole goal was just to make the freshman team.
Okay.
And then we had my buddy Shelton. Shelton was on the JV and varsity, but he broke his foot.
Okay.
And I always know about adversity as a young kid. That's why we were so tough. Like those teams we had, we were so tough because we all went through things that we had to overcome. So when we got to problems on the court, it didn't even matter. So what happened with me, I made the freshman team. There was about 50 guys going out for the freshman team.
Okay. So
15 guys made the team. I made the team.
Wow.
And I was happy. And this was my goal because I'm coming from this football thing I was in love with. And I just got to high school. And we played 4 or 5 games before Christmas. And I got sick. Like my mom was watching. I couldn't walk. And people don't really know this story.
Wow.
My freshman year, I couldn't walk. And I was like limping. And I got a fever. And what happened was this old couple missed the walk in them, 7 or 8 blocks. But they called me to help shovel snow. It was a snowstorm around Christmas time, after Christmas. So I got sick and I laid in the bed sweating. She asked me to go to the store to get the Jersey Journal. Now she saw I couldn't walk. After 4 or 5, I didn't go back to practice. She said, Raf, we're going to take you to the doctor, the emergency room. Went to the emergency room. I think I'm going there. I'm going to get some medicine. I'm coming back home. I'm going to get back with the team. I'm going to play again. And I was so happy just to make the team. And I went there, right, on Baldwin Avenue, the emergency room. And I thought I was coming back home the same day. And I wound up staying in the hospital for 4 months.
4 months?
Nobody knows this story. And see, that's why they don't know about my career because, it was a miracle for me just to be walking and getting back on the court. So that's why.
What was wrong with you, Ref? Did they ever tell you what was wrong?
I had an infected hip, and they didn't know what was wrong with me.
Oh.
I fluid in my hip. They didn't know for a long time. So I'm in the hospital crying every night, wouldn't eat, and I stayed there 4 months. And then people thought like, he's not going to school, but I was sick. When I got out, I had to learn how to walk again with crutches. Then I had to go to summer school and beg my teacher to give me extra work because I wanted to stay with my class.
Okay.
So I went to summer school. I came back to school on crutches, and then I went to summer school, and then I had to work for the CETA program so I could make enough money for my school clothes.
Okay.
And then I started to work out again. I didn't play ball the whole, I was out for 7 or 8 months, so I didn't play at all. Then I started playing again. So all those guys who thought they was good, by the time we got to the JV, I was better than all of them because I worked out every month. I went crazy.
Okay.
And I started getting better, and I got better, but I was determined. So that's what I'm trying to say. The adversity I went through then, nothing can stop me now. So at the end of that sophomore year, we won the county championship as JV because the freshman was in the county championship, the JV was in the county championship, and the varsity was in the county championship.
Wow. So
this was the kind of teams we had at Snyder. So after my end of my sophomore year, he brought me up. And I'm me, Shelton, and all those guys. I was a sophomore, and we wound up losing at Tenafly High School to Tony Campbell and Darren Mahoney that went to Holy Cross.
Okay, right.
But people don't know that my friend going through that hospital stage and the things I had to do just to get back to walk was I had that determination in me. So I came back my junior year and I didn't care who was there.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, I was on that team with me, Beth Booby, and Shelton, Robert Dowdy, and we had great teams.
That was a great team. So, yeah.
That's where that came from. And
okay.
I was one of the younger. I was 16 years old. I graduated at 17.
Yeah, no, I know you were young.
I was a young kid with those guys playing, and I remember, and it's another true story about that year. We was playing, and there's two things. Pat Clark made a comment that the story that it was so funny because we was getting blown out by Montclair, who had a very good team. And at halftime, he killed us. He said, the thing he said to us was, do you see the houses these guys out here live in? Do you see the houses? And they kicked in your butt. Something like he motivated us, and we came back and won that game. And the other thing about that game was, I got hurt and had a fractured elbow.
Oh, God.
And back then, we put a pad on it, and Shelton's yelling at me, get up, we need this game. Like it was like our life depended on it. If you did something like that today, with a swollen elbow and trying to play, everybody would be fired.
Yeah.
I mean, we were tough-minded kids, man, and I remember those times. So nothing could. So if you see like a person like me or Shelton Gibbs persevere later on in life, it's because of that toughness and with the things we had to go through to get to it. Nobody gave us nothing.
Wow. So wait, let's go back to this illness that you had. So you had an infection in your hip. And you stayed 4 months in the hospital? That is really hard.
I was going for the day.
Yeah.
And I stayed 4 months, and for a long period, I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, my God.
And so I was crying every day. My mom was so sorry. They didn't think I was going to walk again, probably. They didn't know. So, but I made the team, and I watched the Super Bowl, the NBA All-Star game, everything from the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, so nobody really know that story because, when they look at, that's why they don't really know about my high school. My high school career could have been more spectacular, but I had to go through those things to get to where I was going to get to.
Right.
That was my path. God got a path for everybody. I had to go through that, to get to the point where I'm so mentally tough that I'm going to make it.
Okay. Now, when did you hit a growth spurt because you were in a hospital? I mean,
that's what I don't understand because when I went in, right?
Yeah.
See, I remember the weights since because I played for the Bergen coach, and the weight limit was 125. I always made the weight limit. So this was I was probably about 5'10", 5'11", maybe 5'10", I believe, when I went in.
Okay.
But I remember going in May for my first doctor's appointment and getting weighed, and I watched my height. They said I was 72 inches. I was 6 feet at that point.
Okay.
And then when I came back for the school year, I was like 6'2". It just started taking off like that. And I started to grow into my body. Now you remember I was a young kid. Like I said, I graduated at 17.
Right.
But today, a lot of people get prepped. They take a year off, or they sit back a year just for athletic advantage. We never thought about that. All we wanted to do was make the team and play for our neighborhood.
Okay.
Play for Snyder. And we
That's
had that pride. That's the way it was back then.
Yep. All right. So you played, and you got brought up to the varsity as a sophomore after you came back.
At the end of the year, no, I played the beginning. I had to get my feet wet. I had to get back into it because I had a long time off.
Right.
Not being able to play. So I played on the JV. Now you got to remember, the JV had 5 guys that couldn't make the varsity. That was juniors.
Okay.
We had 15 guys in our freshman team. 5 of the guys that made that freshman team couldn't make the JV.
Wow, that's how good it was, huh?
Well, that's what. If I was coaching, if you got juniors that can't make the varsity, I'm keeping the sophomores. I'm trying to build something. 5 guys, and some of the juniors didn't even start.
Wow.
Because me and Herbie Gaston was the only 2 juniors sophomores that started. Herbie Gaston, which is Carol and Carla's younger brother, right? Yes, Herb. Yeah. So I came back out of nowhere because I tell you I was in the hospital most of the whole year in medical center on the 5th floor, pediatric. Remember every day. That's why I don't really like hospitals now.
I could imagine.
I was there for
You were there for 4 months. That's a lot.
Lonely nights up there, man. It's like kind of spooky in that place at night, man. And I was a kid, and I was like, I'm one of 7 kids.
Yep.
I always had people around, my family and stuff like that. So it was a tough time, and so that motivated me. Like you go through some, and then I was a mama's little boy because I never had my father. My father left when I was 5.
Really? Oh, that's horrible.
No, but I.
And have you ever seen him since?
He passed away since, but after that, I seen him. I seen him one day. I was dribbling the ball, and then because I was dribbling in the morning, and he didn't even speak to me. So I told my mom about it. She told me my father is a good man, but he don't always show it. The good in him will come out in you. That's when I knew I had to forgive him, but not for him, for me.
Okay.
And once I released all that, everything just started to go. So I had to overcome obstacles that always coming up. And once I overcame that, and overcame that hospital stay, and overcame that fractured elbow, and it wasn't about the stats or numbers, and it was just about me, because some people, best days are ahead of them.
Yep.
So that was me. I knew my best days was ahead of me, but I had to, I had to have the opportunity, and that's I did get the opportunity to be seen, and that was a funny story too.
Yeah, well, go ahead. How'd you get spotted?
Well, I started getting recruited because people came to the gym. People came to the gym to see
Booby.
To see Booby. They came to see Booby, and like I was this skinny young kid getting tall, and Shelton. What a great shooter! I think I'm a very good shooter.
Yep.
But
yeah.
He is a marksman. And I played with a lot of good shooters over the years, like my career. And I'm talking about like I played with Walter Davis, Dražen, Petrović, Glenn Rice, Dale Curry. Open shot, I trust him just as much as I trust them. Those guys I mentioned, that's the kind of shooter Shelton was, and we was a very physical team. Like Booby could jump out of the gym, and he was because we did the drills with Ed Butler. Ed Butler was someone like Phil Jackson, with some of his quotes and the way he looked. I'm telling you, the way he looked at things. So people thought that we were just inner city team that just gonna go run and jump and just try to, up and down like street ball. No, we did fundamentals. We was all smart players. We did drills with weight jackets, dunking the ball, and we was sneaky athletic.
Yeah.
So people, we used to have 20-pound weight jackets on, doing dunking the ball back and forth for a minute. Me, Sheldon, Bowie. We dribbled with the goggles. We walked on our ankles, the inner ankles, the outer ankles, the soles, so we won't twist our ankle. We did all this little scientific thing before we even started practice.
Wow.
This how Ed Butler was. He was like a Phil Jackson. Then we ran the flex, passing the ball without dribbling it.
Yep.
We did stuff like that. So we got a lot of fun. When I got to Syracuse, I was fundamentally sound. So what happened with me, my junior year, we went down and we won the section. Now remember, we was Group 4, and that was the monsters back then, the Group 4 schools.
Yep.
And we went down and played in Jaguar Gym, and against Shabazz. And Neptune was also down there playing Camden with Bill Wagner and Billy Thompson. So Sheldon had a super game. He was really hot. And he needed that game because he needed to get some looks. He needed to know what they missing out on because we didn't get the same opportunity like Billy and Milton have got. To go to camp, to go to 5-star and all that stuff. So the story with that is, 5-star Tom Kachowski and Howie came up to me. How did we miss on this junior?
Yeah.
We don't know who is this guy. We don't even know about him like this. And they wanted me to come to camp, but I couldn't afford to go to camp.
Right.
So I'm at the delicatessen working for like $3 an hour, but back in delicatessen on Martin Luther King Drive.
Where we first met.
Well, they fired me.
What? He fired you? Really?
They fired me because I said I'm going to camp.
Oh, okay.
And if you go to camp, you don't have a job anymore.
Oh, wow.
So
I never knew that. I never knew that.
I had to make a decision. So they let me go to camp as a waiter because they wanted to see me against the top competition so bad. So I went for half price as a waiter.
Okay.
So what happened was I wasn't highly rated, maybe on a 3-star level.
Okay.
So when they start picking the draft at the 5-star, they pick from the team I was on. They pick Mark Wilson, who went to Minnesota, and Jimmy. That was their top guys. So then I got picked with that team, etc. And then all the guys were there. Lenny Byers was there, and Chris Washburn. All the stars was there. So what happened was I turned the camp out. I led the whole camp in scoring and won the championship.
Wow.
In 1 week. Just lit it up. They're like, who is this guy? So I went from like St. Francis, St. Peter's, and these type people to Oklahoma, NC State, Syracuse. I went from there in 1 week.
Oh my God, really? Okay.
Well, that happened, and they wanted me. They got me to come back to 5-star. This time, not at Holmesdale. This one was over at Robert Morris.
Okay.
And because he wanted to make sure, because he was like a solid 5-star on a hot night. But then I went out there and scoring 27 in the All-Star game. I didn't know Robert Morris in the same summer.
Okay.
In the same summer, but so I think that was a good investment. I lost my job.
Okay. All right. So who took you to all these camps? Who drove you? Eddie Butler do it?
Well, I got a ride. That's the thing. Without having a father, having that foundation, somebody gave me a ride. Somebody gave me a ride everywhere, even when I played AAU ball.
Okay.
Somebody had to come and somebody came and got me because AAU ain't what it was back then. It's not the same as it is today.
No way.
If you didn't make that AAU, that main one, and that was all us top guys in the whole state. Like we was on the same team, and we went to Florida. It wasn't the way it is today.
What was the AAU team that you played for?
We was out of Newark with Wembley. We practiced at the North Wide, and Troy Webster, Billy Thompson, all those on it.
Wow, that was a good team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We went to Falls Church, Virginia, won the regionals, and then we went down to Orlando. Jacksonville. We went to Orlando to go to Disney World. The only time I ever went, but we was in Jacksonville.
Wait a minute, time out. That was the only time you ever went to Disney World in your life?
That's the only time I ever went. The only time I ever went is when I went down there. We took a trip down. And then,
Well, you were playing AAU basketball when you were 16 years old. Was the only time you ever went.
Come on, Mr. Jim. Basketball took me all around the world.
I know that.
That's the only time I ever went. And as I got taller, sometimes like amusement parks wasn't my thing.
Yeah. Okay, you got a good point there.
The rides,
yeah.
Amusement parks wasn't one of my thing. That's one of the problems of being tall.
I agree. You can't fit in the rides.
You can't fit in the rides properly, like that. I'm not. So I never, and then all the walking and stuff, that just never been my thing.
Okay.
That's the only time I've been to Disney World when we were down there, and I almost missed graduation because of that trip.
Really?
Yeah, we was in the semifinals for the nation, and my flight got back in. I had graduated at 7 at night, and my flight got back in at 2.
Wow, that same day. Okay.
Yeah, I made it back.
All right. So now you talked about your college recruiting. So you were getting looked at by schools like St. Peter's and St. Francis, and then all of a sudden 1 5-star camp, and now you started to get big time offers. Did that blow you away? Did that say, oh my God, is this really happening?
No, it didn't blow me away. I was happy but it happened so fast. It happened so fast, and like Valvano and I always wanted to go to Syracuse.
Always? Seriously? You always wanted to go to Syracuse growing up? Wow.
Well, as I started to see that I was going to be a prospect, my junior year, I told my mom one day, Mom, I want to go to Syracuse. She said, Rev, I know you want to go, but I can't afford Syracuse. I said, no, don't worry about it. I'm going to get a scholarship. I'm going to work hard. Like that. So I watched them one night play on WR9. They played Tulsa in the NIT finals.
Yeah, okay.
And fell in love.
Wow.
But
okay.
I never thought it was going to be possible. Like, that's why I tell kids today, your dream could come true.
Sure.
Yeah, I always wanted to go there, and I never thought it was going to be possible. And then when they started recruiting me, it was like, wait a minute, hold up. Somebody up there is watching over me. Okay.
And was it Boeheim himself that recruited you, or was it Howie?
My main recruiter was Brendan Malone.
Oh.
His son is Mike Malone that coaches Denver Nuggets right now.
Right, I know him well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brendan Malone was my main recruiter. He was my man, and he'd come by and he loved me. He loved my game, and so it was like a thing, guys, they recruit everybody. So once Boeheim saw me, he told me if I come, he stopped recruiting the other guys at that position. And the top guy at that position that year was Harold Presley.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, he was a top small forward. He went to
Villanova.
But he was, they said we would stop right now recruiting if you decide you're going to come. But I was, I had some good schools that I was looking at that I was. They recruited me for a long time. They was on. They came by the school. Louis Carter II came by. Snyder. Don Perno from UConn and Valvano came to the house, and I never forget.
Wow.
My sister goes, Ma, he looked just like Joe Namath.
That's giving Valvano a credit. That's
She said, I remember that clearly. That was wow. Bobby Crimmins came by the house, and or the school or the game. So it was interesting. Digger Phelps was around a lot.
Okay. So, but once Boeheim and once Brendan Malone started to recruit you, that's it. You were going to Syracuse, huh?
Yeah. A quick story about that. Brendan and Coach Boeheim. Boeheim told my mom, we're not going to promise you that your son's going to make the NBA, but we're going to give him every opportunity to get his college degree. And my mom trusted them,
Okay.
My mom trusted what they were saying, and she knew, and then Syracuse, I wanted to get away, but I didn't want to really get away because once I went down to NC State and started going on some of these visits, you realize you don't want to be that far away from home.
Okay.
You don't want to be right at home. And then Syracuse, the atmosphere, the population, that was like a New York population. Like, the people from Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn, New York, in the metropolitan area, they kind of act the same.
Okay.
The people in the South act different. The people in the Midwest act different. And I wasn't worried about the basketball. basketball part when I went to college. I was worried about fitting in socially, academically, because I didn't want to fail. I was determined.
Okay. Well, you went to Syracuse, and did you when you got there, did you realize that you were stumbling into a program that was on the major rise? And did you look around and say, "Wow, we got some really good talent around me"? You had people like Pearl Washington and Ronnie Cycli, and
Pearl came the year after.
Okay.
Yeah, Pearl came the year after me. When I went there, I already knew that the starting five for the previous year was coming back.
Okay.
So I already knew that. But the three guys that I could play behind was all seniors, going to be seniors.
Okay.
And I had opportunity to start at the 2 and the following year or the 3 because both of them was gone, and Leo Rollins played like a guard.
Right.
Now, St. John's was the other team I was looking at, but it was too close. I didn't want to be in Queens, and then they had Chris Mullen, and I was going to have an opportunity at the small forward, but I thought I had 2 opportunities at Syracuse, and I also was further away. I wanted to get away a little bit.
Okay. All right, all right. So, what was how talented was that Syracuse team when you first got there, and did you know right away that you could fit in and you could play there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that we did at Snyder, I thought some of my practices at Snyder was tougher than some of the practices there.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, we used to go at it at Snyder. So I was ready fundamentally. Like, I'm going to backdoor you, I'm going to do this stuff, but the only thing I lacked was strength. They was like, Red Bruin could jump out the gym.
Right.
Eric Sanford was fast, a scorer.
Okay.
And then Leo was a very good passer. He was the first round pick for Philadelphia.
Yes.
76ers.
Yeah.
Right. So we had some players, but it was mostly in my position. So and I was actually the 6th man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I was 6th man, and I was the only 6th man or the only rookie that year that made the All Big East rookie team that didn't start.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that meant something to me too. Like Harold Presley didn't make the All Rookie team. I was the only rookie on that All Rookie team that didn't start for their team.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's impressive in itself. All right, before we get into your Syracuse career, I forgot to dwell into it. How good of a player was Boobie Richardson? And the legend of Boobie just keeps growing bigger and bigger as the years go on. How great of a player was Boobie Richardson to play with and to grow up with?
Well, he's a great teammate. Like me, him, and Shelton got along real well. We was more like brothers. And he was a great teammate. Like we'd hang out and we'd talk and we had each other back. But he was powerful. The legend grows because I was trailing the play when he broke the backboard.
Oh yeah, okay.
He cuffed it. It was a cuff dunk.
Okay.
He broke the backboard, and he could handle the ball. He could score. Plus, he was like a good person. Like a good teammate. And so the sky was the limit for him. I mean, that's something we'll never know. Because it's a big difference between high school and college and the pros,
Right.
But if you stay on track, you never know. That's what I mean by, and I don't doubt that he could not have showed that because that's the kind of people we are. We persevere.
Right.
We came through tough times, and I'm thinking, just like I was proud of Shelton leading St. Peter's College, and maybe after he left, he's one of the top 5 scorers in school history and stuff like that.
No, he was 1.
He was number 1. I knew it was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
See.
When he graduated, he was number 1. He's now fallen down a little bit further on the list. I think he's like 5 or 6 now. But Kiki Clark blew everybody away. Nobody's going to touch his record. But when Shelton,
I don't think it was a 3-point shot back then either.
No, there was not. No.
See, so it's a lot of other things that go involved. But I was glad how he persevered. I'm sure Boobie would have done the same thing. But an unbelievable talent, handle, and the biggest thing, which we all had, he had a lot of heart.
Yep.
Wasn't scared of anybody, and he did. He was just an all-around player. Did everything well. If he had a weakness in his game that
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it might have been his jump shot, but everything else, he did everything well.
Yeah, is it a crime that he wasn't able to foster that talent and move on into the next levels?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we hurt for that, but hopefully some kids that came behind us could learn from that tragedy. Yeah, it's a crime, absolutely. He was an unbelievable, not only player, but a person.
Yeah.
He was a very good person.
It's just an absolute shame that what happened to him. It's just and he died at a very young age, and then a lot of people still can't believe that he's gone. And he was a great talent. There's no question. He was and a lot of people said on that county championship team that you played for that he was the best player on that team, and not you and not Sheldon. The best player was Booby Richardson.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't a finished product yet.
Yeah.
So I respect that, but
okay.
I'm just happy that and just remember that we was teammates and we was brothers, and all of us had in our mindset we were the best.
Yep.
That's the way we felt. We felt that we all felt that we were the best, and good as Booby was, good as Sheldon was, and myself, we all brought something different to the table.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's for sure. Yeah. There's no question. All right, so now you go to Syracuse, and you get to play with your first year. You get to play with people like Routens and Red Bruin, and that was a very good team. The great players were behind you, and how much did it help playing on a team that got so much recognition with people like Pearl Washington and Ronnie Cycli, and then later on Derek Coleman?
Well, when Pearl came in, you got to remember he was the #1 recruit in the country.
Right.
He did his thing. He chose Syracuse on Channel 4 with Al McGuire.
Right.
So we all was watching it, and I used to watch him a little. I met him a couple times at AAU circuit. He played for the Gauchos over in New York.
Yep.
And he liked Syracuse, but he was like a rock star. Because he likes the flamboyant. He likes the attention. So how we got along so good, because I'm like an enigma. I'm very anonymous. I don't like all that. He loves it. So we never clash. He loved it. Now, people don't remember. When he came in, he was the first team All-Big East performer as a freshman. And freshman of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And freshman of the year.
I think he was National Freshman of the Year. I think he was the National Freshman of the Year.
Incredible talent. He gets to the basket. I don't care what you say. He's not going to get to the basket. He's going to get to the basket. Now, my sophomore year when he was a freshman, I led the team in scoring and rebounding.
Okay.
But because he was so flamboyant, nobody really know that. So it was we were great friends. Great friends.
Yeah. How good of a guy was Pearl?
Pearl's a nice guy. Pearl, when the lights come on, he turned into this, almost like Superman.
Okay.
When they go off, he's like Clark Kent. Stays in the house, don't do much.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's the kind of person he is. He loves to be in the spotlight, but when he has his time, he's very quiet. He even talk real mild-mannered. Very nice guy.
Okay. All right, so then you go off to have a great career at Syracuse. Did you ever think it was going to take off the way it did? With the guys that you had? I mean, and talk about each individual. How good of a teammate was Ronnie Cycli?
Cycli's family owned property up there. He fell into Boeheim's lap.
Okay.
His sister went to Syracuse, so he was up there a little early practicing with us, and raw talent, unbelievable. See, when I left, he got better. See, we groomed him, and Patrick Ewing showed him the way he got punched in the mouth a lot, and then he got better. So, but raw talent, he could outrun guards. So he was unbelievable. Then the other guy, people don't talk about, Wendell Alexis.
Oh, yeah.
Wendell Alexis from Cranston Kane, 6'9", smooth, could shoot the ball, could do everything well. And people don't know he was a third-round pick for the Golden State Warriors. He wound up playing 18 years in Europe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Wendell was a quiet leader. He was, and he always had to wait his turn. And we had high IQ guys, Sean Cameron's engineering student, and Howard Trish, and he had a nephew, Brandon Trish, that played later on.
Yep.
We had Greg Monroe, was a nice role player, lefty that could shoot with anybody. So we had good guys.
All right. So you didn't play with Coleman?
Coleman came in the year after I went to Phoenix Suns.
Oh, okay, all right. So I thought that you played teammate with him. So I'm getting my years confused. So.
Right, it was 1 year after.
All right. So, but where was the longest? Now you won the Big East championship 1 year, right?
No, we went to the finals. 2 years.
Okay.
Went to the finals. We lost to St. John's and we lost to Georgetown.
Okay. No, weren't bad teams to lose to back then, right? Georgetown had Ewing and St. John's had Mullins, so that's they were not bad teams.
Well, you gotta remember that we always had the fights with Georgetown. Pearl punched Patrick, and
yep.
It was always a brawl, and they always they had that kind of Detroit Pistons mentality, elbowing you.
Yep.
And back then, those things wasn't a foul the way it is today. You can get into a brawl and you won't get kicked out the game.
Yeah.
So it was some tough time, but that's what the Big East was back then. It was some rough basketball, and it was fun because everybody, when we got down to Madison Square Garden for the Big East tournament, people, it was a family reunion.
Yeah, and it was like you were treated like a rock star in Madison Square Garden, right?
Man, being back home, back down in the because I look at the metropolitan area as home, and being away from it, I love Hudson County. People don't appreciate what we have there in Hudson County. We have a gold mine there. It's like paradise. A lot of my friends from Europe and stuff come to that area, New York area, for vacation. That's something we don't appreciate it enough because I guess we had it our whole life because they're able to look across the river and stuff like that.
Right. So, but that was your college career was a great run. But where was the furthest you went in the NCAA tournament?
With the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was a year we beat Calvin Duncan, Virginia Commonwealth, and we lost to Virginia. And you gotta remember, the one year we lost to Georgia Tech, who lost to I believe Georgetown. That year we beat Georgetown. We beat Five Slamma Jamma. See, nobody can tell me Five Slamma Jamma lost 3 games that year. They lost one at the finals to NC State, and they lost one to Virginia, and they lost another game. The other game was to Syracuse.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, but the one year that was disappointing was my last year. I hurt my ankle for the first time in my career. I got really hurt bad, and Mount Bryant actually did it. He fell on my ankle, and we beat a Navy team with Eddie Robinson 25 earlier that year.
Okay.
And we were number 2 seed, and I think we was 26-6, something like that. But they knocked us out of the NCAA tournament at home, and I was 7 points shy from being the all-time lead scorer in Syracuse history, where I scored at least 100 points less than I scored my junior and sophomore year. Yeah. Because of my injury. So that was the things I was telling you about earlier in the interview about how to deal with adversity. Yeah, I had to deal with it again.
As a senior at Syracuse, right?
Yeah. Getting ready to go pro. Yeah. I had to deal with it, but I was tough. I was battle tested. Okay. I was ready for it.
All right, but you ended up scoring 1,876 points at Syracuse. Now, where was that when you left? Where was that ranked in the all-time scoring list in the school when you graduated?
2.
You were 2, okay.
I was 2, 7 points behind Dave Bing.
Dave Bing, wow! Oh my God! Oh my God!
And after getting hurt, after scoring less points than I did my junior and sophomore year. Okay. Because you got to remember, I was first team on Big East my junior year. Chris Mullen, Patrick Ewing, Pearl Washington, Ed Pinckney, and myself.
Wow.
I was picked to be the Big East preseason player of the year.
Going into your senior year? Yeah.
Going into my senior year.
Wow.
Everything was set. Then I got hurt and had to deal with that adversity again.
Oh, wow. And you just you couldn't play on the ankle?
I couldn't play.
Yeah.
I scored 100 points less than, but my assists went up, but I scored 100 points less than I did my junior and sophomore year.
Yeah, that is true. Your assists did go up tremendously. You went up. You went up from 79 to 133 in your senior year.
See, okay.
You're right. See, I got your stats right in front of me as I'm looking at it. So, and you did. You dropped from 18.4 as a junior points per game, and then you scored 15 points a game as a senior.
There you go.
Yep.
Hey, on point.
Yeah.
On point.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the internet, Raf. That definitely has nothing to do with me. It definitely has nothing to do.
You can't say fibs anymore.
Yeah, no, they can't. They really can't. You know.
You can look it up.
I definitely right away could look it up. You know how many times in my career I've had people to tell me, yeah, I was all state, I was first team all county, and I scored 1,000 points. No, now you can look that stuff up right away.
That's it.
That's it. So.
I'm telling you the truth. That's what happened.
All right. So how much did that injury hurt you when it came time for the draft?
Tremendously. It was times I was at study table at Boeheim's office, and I was looking at lists. Sometimes if you look at the guys before me, Chris Muller went 7 in the 85 draft.
Right.
Ed Pinckney went 10, I believe, and Patrick went 1, of course.
Of course.
Right. And Pearl went the next year, he went 13th.
Right.
I seen where I was slotted between 7 and 14. And then I just dropped. And I actually, and now you gotta remember, I didn't know, Boeheim told me I gotta go to camps. Like, I had to go to the Lowhigh Classic. I had to go to Chicago pre-draft camp. And the reason I got back in the second round, because I started to play well again. I made the all-tournament team in the Lowhigh Classic.
Oh, okay.
In Hawaii. And the only time I've been to Hawaii, by the way.
Yeah, well, they don't have a team in the NBA, so that's
Right.
But there is a team in Orlando, and you never got to go to Disney World while you were playing in the NBA. That's pretty wild. All right, anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So
all right.
I slipped, and then I went on I played well in Hawaii, and then I went to Chicago pre-draft, did okay, and then I played the All-Star game between the Final Four.
Okay.
Duke and Louisville was out there in Texas. We was in Dallas, so I was out there in the All-Star game, and and I visited a couple of places. I went to Atlanta, went to Portland. I didn't even hear from Phoenix, who drafted me.
Who drafted you?
Yeah. Okay. So that's what it was at. I didn't even watch the draft. I was a little depressed by it, what happened. But like I said, I dealt with things my way.
Okay. So incredibly, you get drafted by the Phoenix Suns, 39th pick overall. What was it like to go to Phoenix and play in the NBA then?
Well, I went to rookie camp, and they drafted William Bedford from Memphis and Jeff Hornacek. Okay. And Joe Ward and companies like that. My first roommate out there in the rookie camp was Bill Willoughby. He was trying to make a team.
Okay.
So I led the rookie camp in scoring. All scored, and I did well, and they signed me and Jeff, and we became really good friends. So it was a great experience, but it was so different because I was so starting over again.
Yeah.
I was leaving Syracuse, starting over again, and the guys I was playing behind was like Walter Davis, Larry Nance, people like they had Mike Sanders. And,
okay.
And it was an eye-opening experience. It was great to be. Especially when we came back east, and I seen everybody, but it was good, to be 70, 80 degrees in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Phoenix, being in the NBA, living out your dream, and people. The thing about that is when you make it to the NBA and such a low percentage make it, you don't really have time to really enjoy it.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna take your spot, and I always had to work for everything I got, so. I didn't really enjoy that kind of stuff until after it was over.
Okay. All right, so you spent 1 year in Phoenix, all right? Didn't get to play much at all. You got to play only 11 minutes a game, which is just unbelievable. But like you said, you had a lot of talent on that team, like Mike Sanders and Larry Nance and Walter Davis. You really didn't get much of a chance to play. And then, incredibly, Phoenix lets you go. And
well, something to that story.
All right, please tell me. Let's.
Well, down there they fired the coach, John McLeod, who was a great coach, and they had a drug scandal. And people died, like Johnny High, and people, there was a big thing going on. And us rookies, we really know what was going on. So they came in with a whole new group. So I went out to the summer league for the second year in a row, and it was different. But the year before I was in the summer league, all the European coaches was over there watching us.
Okay.
Play. And they tried to get me to go in, but I wanted to play in the NBA.
Of course.
So I didn't go. But that same coach from the year before was trying to get me again. And they was offering me double the money that I would have made in Phoenix. Because I had a 3-year deal with 2 years non-guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
So they offered me double the money to come to Europe. Plus with the drug scandal, the coach that drafted me getting fired, I decided to leave. But they did not renounce my rights. So I figured I had to go to Europe for 2 years and I'd come back to the NBA. What happened was they signed, I saw it overseas in one of the papers over there on the wire. They signed Tom Chambers to an offer sheet, so they had to release salaries to get him when they got him from Seattle. And that's when they renounced my rights. So I was able to come back right away now because now I was free.
Okay.
But I didn't. I loved it over there so much.
Okay. So you signed with the pro team in Italy, and what was that like to be playing in Italy? And you were making pretty good money, and obviously playing a little bit more than you were playing at the NBA.
Well, I thought it was a win-win because I was able to make more money. I could stay anonymous like I am, and I could get better as a player.
Okay.
Because you get all the responsibility over there, but you get all the blame too. So, and I was in a coastal town called Livorno, right on the Mediterranean Sea. Fresh fish, this, that, it never really get cold. I was in paradise, so I loved it. And I wound up, and then every year, I decided I'm gonna go back to the NBA. I'm gonna try again. They offered me more money.
Okay.
And I loved it, so I wound up staying there like a college time. I stayed 4 years.
Right. In the same city in Italy?
Same city, and I loved it. I stayed over there 11 months.
Okay.
Then we came back.
All right. And they gave you a place.
Now, this is European talk. I had a villa, 3 floors. I had a BMW, and like most players get flats, little apartments. I had that's what they give you in your car, and they gave me like 15 round trip business class tickets for family.
Wow.
Yes, that stuff you negotiate in your contract, but I had a really nice day in that town. Livorno, right on the Mediterranean Sea on the western side of Italy.
Okay.
On the west side of Italy, between Rome and Milan.
Right, and in the Italian league, you became a star, right? It was almost like you went back to. It was almost like back your Syracuse days, right?
It was great because they had the 3-point line. One
Okay.
game they had 9 threes. I didn't have the 3-point line when I was in college.
Right.
And at one point, I was second in the country in scoring behind Oscar Smith, the great scorer from Brazil.
Yep.
And it was. I just was at home and I was having fun. I was playing my best ball of my life. Just too bad it wasn't in the NBA.
Right. But it was, but you were doing what you could do, and you were just at that point, probably because you were younger than everybody else. You were only 23 years old, so you were younger than everybody else. You're probably in better condition than everybody else, so that's why you were able to star in Italy, no?
Yeah, I think a lot that has something to do with it. The fact that I was a mismatch. They played me more like point forward, and the guys my size or smaller couldn't guard me in the low post, and if you put bigger guys in there, I just go by them, and like that, and I was maturing. I was maturing as a person, a player, and it was a great experience. And the one thing they do over there, they practice a lot more. So we play less games, but they practice a lot more. So I was in great shape.
Okay. All right. So after 4 years in Ily, the New Jersey Nets start calling, and at that point, did you say to yourself, all right, it's about time I go back to the NBA?
Yes and no. What happened was the team in Livorno offered me a 3-year deal.
Okay.
And they were going to buy me a flat, buy me an apartment. Not rent it, they're going to buy it for me.
Okay.
My determining factor was more like, I knew that you needed 3 years in the league to be vested into the pension.
Okay.
And I wanted to get that before I got too old. So if that can happen, I'm going to go back.
All right.
And then the other thing, my mom was kind of sick at the time, and I didn't know how much time I had left with her, so I wanted to get back to the States. So when I came back, I had propositioned the Nets. If I don't get a 2-year guarantee by the summer, I'm going back.
Okay.
So I worked in the summer league with them and everything, and I convinced them, and they gave me a 2-year deal. So that's why that happened.
All right.
I didn't really want to come back, but I knew that at that time, I knew that basketball was going to end one day, and I wasn't going to let basketball use me.
Okay. Now, what was it like to come back home to your home area and play for the team that's 6 miles away?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yes.
Talk to me. Why was it terrible?
Because
you got to hang around with good-looking sports writers like me. So what was
you guys was the best.
Yeah, okay.
Just being around family and friends, it stunts your growth. I couldn't focus like I wanted to. The tickets.
Yeah, that must have been a pain in the ass. No, right? People calling you for tickets.
Yes. Yeah. It was crazy. It was distractions and stuff like that. And then when you was away, nobody cared. But when I'm home, it was terrible. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Wow. Okay. And how were the Nets at that time? Did you like playing with those guys?
Oh yeah, we were a good team. We had Bill Fitch.
Right, he was your coach, right?
And we got Dražen, and we even had Mookie before they drafted Kenny.
Yep.
And you had Derek, and then you had Chris Morris, and you had Terry Mill. We had Dudley and Sam Bowie.
Yep.
So we had a really good team. We made the playoffs and ran into a very good Cleveland team with Doherty, Price, and Larry Nance, all those guys. But the next year they got rid of Fitch and Daly came in.
Right.
That was an adventure.
How was an adventure? Okay, so talk with that. How was that an adventure?
Well, Daly was more of a dictator.
Yep.
And he had success. Of course, he had success with other teams, and we didn't really get along. You
and Daly didn't get along?
Nah, we had some clashes, and one of the clashes, but I always worked hard. We had some clashes because and it wasn't over playing time. It was just over respect. I remember, and we had since made up before he passed away. I remember when my mom got sick, and I had brought her a house in South Carolina, and I remember him telling me if I go to see her, I can never get back in his rotation. So she's on a respirator. So all my siblings rushed to see my mom, and I rushed too. So I gave him the word, the FU word.
Yeah.
Because I was very emotional about it. So when my mom wound up coming out of it, but to make a long story short, that same year she wound up passing away.
Oh man.
A couple of months after that.
Okay.
So it was a hurtful time. So he really upset me, but I didn't let that stop me. So every day after practice, the only 2 players still be in the gym was me and Dražen.
Mm-hmm.
So if we at the arena, I'm running the steps. If we in the gym, I'm running, I'm working out. So he see this. And then I got my break with the Nets again when Dražen got hurt. He had to play me.
Okay.
So he couldn't break me. He could not break me. I wasn't gonna let that happen. That's another one of them things I'm telling you. Dealing with adversity.
Okay.
When I had growing up, I was already mentally tough for that. He couldn't do it to me because I knew it. So I did that, and long story short, we got over it, and I ran into him in Springfield when Boeheim got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he apologized to me.
Oh wow. Okay.
He said my mom was a good person. He's sorry. He said I'm a good man. I never gave up. I'm a good player. So he apologized to me and we made up.
Okay. Talk a little bit. You mentioned Dražen a couple times. How great of a player was he? And then what was your reaction when the day you heard that he was killed in a car crash?
Dražen and me was really good friends. I knew him. I met him way back, like in '83, when I went on a Big East All-Star trip.
Yep.
And went to Yugoslavia. Zagreb he played for.
Yep.
And I met him way back then. And then plus his brother played in Pesaro over in Italy.
Yep.
So I knew him really well. He was going to go to Notre Dame, by the way.
Yeah, no, he was. It was all set. It was all set. He was going there. Yep.
Yeah. So
Digger makes sure he tells everybody that.
And it's the truth.
Yeah, I know.
Great player. And we was born the same year. We had the same agent.
Oh, is that true? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We had the same agent. Because I needed an agent that could work the NBA and Europe, and Dražen needed the same thing.
Okay. So where were you when you heard the news that he was killed?
I was home, and he met that girl in Syracuse.
Yeah.
The German girl.
Yeah.
He met in Syracuse. I was home, and I got the call, and it was very tragic. I even talked to his brother since then.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I talked to his brother since then, but that was terrible. What a terrible loss. He was right in his prime because
he was just scraping the surface. He really was. He was just on his way to being, well, he was that year before he was All NBA. He was, he was the second team All NBA. So he was well on his way.
Because he didn't make the All-Star team.
Yep.
He was upset, but he made All NBA.
Yeah.
Go figure. But he was upset. He worked hard, and he always tell everybody your shot comes from your legs. He used to do one-legged squats, so all this kind of stuff. He used to shoot every mid-range and three-pointers after practice when everybody gone. And just such a hard worker. Then we worked out at the North Hudson Park.
Yep.
And then me and him worked out the whole summer together. And then we would go to APA.
That's right.
And do the weight training and stuff like that. But so he was a hard worker. So everything he got, I knew why. He worked really hard, and he really didn't have no other life. Like other guys go out, this and that. His whole life was
basketball.
About basketball. Yes. Yep. Yes.
Yeah. And he was such a wonderful guy. I mean, he was so like I used to look forward to going to those practices. I have to go write about you guys, and there were only two people I would look forward. Of course I look forward to going and seeing you, but they didn't want me to go write about you. I look forward to going and seeing Daly and going and seeing Draž. And Draž would hold court, and he had us all captivated because we could eat out of the palm of his hand. That's how wonderful a guy he was. And I loved every minute I spent with him. I can't say the same thing about Kenny Anderson and Derek Coleman, though. And incredibly, the last day ever, the Nets at the last day of the New Jersey Nets ever was played at the Prudential Center. And who's there but Derek Coleman? And he come up to me and he saw me and he says, "You really hate me, don't you?" And I said, "Well, I'm not too fond of you to put it that way." So he treated us like shit, to say the least.
You wouldn't be the first.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no. So anyway, all right. So you spent 2 years with the Nets, and then you went back to Italy, and that must have been a big gamble at that point, right? To go back to Italy after you spent 2 years in the NBA.
No, what the problem was with that, I told you my mom passed.
Right.
So I was depressed. I quit basketball.
Oh, you did?
I quit. Nobody knew that, but when she passed, it destroyed me because I was with her on her deathbed.
Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear.
So I quit. I just quit, and I had offers to play like in different places, like because I think Bill Fitz was out in L.A. playing for the Clippers, and I think Larry Brown was fond of me. So I quit. I just quit, and then
How long were you away for it?
Well, you really remember training camp started like October 1st.
Right.
And at first, the game started like November the beginning of November, Halloween time.
Yeah.
So my mom died in September, in the middle of the month, and I didn't play. I didn't go back to play until I was depressed.
Okay.
Until maybe December.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was out of it. Then I just decided I'm gonna get back in shape and start running. And I told my agent I want to go overseas. I need to get to a place, just to get myself back together. And I use different things to motivate me, like the clouds. I envisioned I saw her face, and I was running, doing jogging. I was playing, and then I took a job in France.
Okay.
And I flew over on the supersonic jet, and I had some problems over there with getting all my money. So FIBA and all that, we had to go to court with FIBA.
Oh wow.
Then I got a job. Then I took a job once they released me. I took a job with Benetton Treviso where Tony Kukoc used to play.
Oh, okay.
So I played there for about 3 or 4 months, and then I went to the Pistons camp.
Right.
Yeah. Then I came back. I was ready.
So you went to camp. You came back. You didn't get a guarantee to play for the Pistons. You had to go make the team.
For 1 week of camp.
Okay.
I went to 1 week of camp. They had 30 guys there. And I destroyed everybody. Okay. And they gave me a 3-year guarantee over 1 week.
Okay. So who was the coach of the Pistons then?
Don Chaney.
Oh, okay.
Don Chaney. And Brendan Malone was assistant coach.
Yeah, all right. So you felt a little bit at home then, right?
Yeah, I went there, and that's before the draft. They were gonna they needed me. They was trying to get themselves together where they could draft Grant Hill. Okay. And because that draft was Big Dog went first for Purdue, and Jason Kidd went second. Okay. And he went third to them. Once they got him, I was slotted to be his backup.
All right. Well, you had your best year in the NBA that year in Detroit.
Oh yeah, oh man, Don Chaney was like unbelievable. I had my best year, and it could have been better because early on I wasn't playing. I mean, Grant was playing all the minutes. I was getting 5 minutes spot time because I played, first 79 games there. Right. But then when he went down and got hurt, I had more of an opportunity. Then when he came back, because I played so well, they had to keep me in the rotation. And we had some very nice young talent. Remember Allen Houston was young coming up. Right. And they had Lindsey Hunter. These guys was young. Okay. So I had a good year there. You had a very good year there. You averaged 8 points a game. You started 16 games. You played 79. You had 22 minutes a game. You shot over 50% from the floor. You shot 49% from 3. So, I mean, you were really, you were kicking it at that time. You were doing really well. The time I played there, when, the minutes could have been even more. But during that stretch where I started, easy double-figure score. It was my best time, absolutely, because I got an opportunity. But it's tough in the NBA, and I had an unbelievable time there, and I didn't want to leave. And the circumstance of me leaving there was another story. But
well, they traded you.
No.
Oh no! You didn't get traded to Charlotte? How did you end up going to Charlotte?
What happened? And I can say it real quick if you got a minute.
Go ahead.
What happened was, after I played that year, the expansion draft came in with Toronto. Remember Toronto? Isaiah Thomas was there. Okay. So what happened was, they had to, at a certain point, release people so you won't go on that expansion list to go to Toronto. And they wanted to do it to Oliver Miller so he can go there. So they asked me, after 79 straight games, we're going to release you and re-sign you because you underpaid. Because you had a great year. So Billy McKinney came to ask me, was everything? I said, yes, that's good with me. And Isaiah Thomas went to the league and said, Rafael Addison had a great year. The Pistons using a way around the expansion draft. So Commissioner Stern said Rafael could sign with any team except Detroit.
Is that true?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
That's how I got to Charlotte. But they still owe me 2 years of salary. I still had my deal with Detroit, but that's why I had to sign with Charlotte. And the reason I signed with Charlotte, when I had other offers, I had 3 offers, matter of fact. I had the Clippers, the Pacers, and the Hornets. reason I signed with Charlotte, I think it was psychological. I think I wanted to be in the South because my mother was buried there.
Okay.
And it was a good deal at first until the problem with Lonzo Mourning that happened when they traded for Glenn Rice because Mourning wanted out.
Yep.
You know, it was a good deal at first, but you know that's what happened with the Detroit thing.
Okay. So did you like playing in Charlotte?
Yeah, I liked Charlotte. It was good because I liked Larry Johnson and Muggsy and Del Curry and all this. I used to watch little Steph Curry and them shoot stuff like that. Yeah, I like Charlotte, but it wasn't a good deal for me once the key piece in the trade was at my position.
Yeah.
So that's things that happen. That's what I was telling you about. You got to be strong with adversity, and I was built for that because how I grew up in Jersey City.
All right, but you hardly played the 2 years in Charlotte. I mean, you were there, but you hardly played. And was that frustrating for you after all those years?
Absolutely. But you know, you continue to go to practice, you continue to work hard, and you never know. Somebody can get hurt, something go down. You got to be professional.
Okay. So, all right. So you played 2 years in Charlotte. The team was pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the one thing you were very fortunate. Your entire career, you played for all good teams. You didn't play on any lousy teams, right?
Well, I always had good players at my position,
right.
And you know how the NBA go. If you know the players that they committed to, that's getting that money, is going to be the players that play. They committed to them. You know, that's just how it go, man. That's a business. Okay.
So you played 2 years in Charlotte. Now you're 32 years old. And what made you walk away from it at that point? Did you have no offers to go play anywhere, or
no,
how did it happen?
I went to Greece for a minute, to Saloniki, northern Greece.
Okay.
And my patellar tendons got hurt, and then over there, them floors, the wood is so hard, you know, and they didn't want to rehab me. They want you to play right away. And then I remember, you know, I didn't want to leave this game crippled. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I went to Greece, and then I took a buyout, came back, finished my degree, and got my certification.
Okay. And was that the goal at that point? You wanted to become a teacher?
No, the goal was to transition.
Okay.
I really didn't know what I wanted to do. You got to do something. And that kind of like, I just kind of like found my niche with being a teacher. You know, like, you know, I wanted to, you know, always wanted to show the kids in Jersey City that, you know, you could play basketball at the highest level, but you're a student athlete. And I wanted to show that that's the basketball part, but now this is the educational part.
Okay. Was the goal, after you got your degree and you got your certification, was the goal to come back to Jersey City to be a teacher? Was that in your mind, saying that's what I want to do?
Well, that was another way of giving back.
Okay.
And actually, Franklin Walker kind of convinced me, asked me to, because he was my second grade phys ed teacher.
Is that true? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was my gym teacher when I was in school, and I had spoke at a banquet. I don't know if you remember. You probably remember. You the sports writer of the year, 1999, I believe. Dickinson won the county or state championship.
No, they didn't win the state championship. They won in 2000. They won the county. So. That's
the boys, right?
Yeah.
Around that time, I know Stevie Richardson was on that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so Bill Dražen was my coach before.
Red Dražen was your coach at where? At Snyder?
At Snyder, yes.
Oh, okay.
The story I told you when I was a sophomore when I came back from the injury?
Yeah.
He was the coach.
What happened to Eddie Butler? He left?
No, Red was a JV coach.
Oh, Red was a JV coach. Okay, all right.
So they got in touch with my sister to get me to come speak at their banquet.
Oh, okay.
For the championship team, whatever team that was. And I did that, and one of the superintendents was there and saw me and said, "This guy would be great for working in the school district." And
okay.
And then they spoke to Walt, and he said, "I know him," and he put the word out for me to come see him. And asked me what I think about coming to the school district.
Okay. And what a great get that was for the Board of Ed, because here you are, you're an incredible role model in the fact that you rose from, you know, you were one of those kids. And you got a chance to move on to go to college and play at the highest level in college, and then went to play pro ball and made some good money and did well for yourself. So you're an incredible role model for those kids.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, it's the truth. I'm not speaking out of tongue. So, all right. What was it like to come back to Jersey City and to teach and eventually to coach? You coached for a while too.
Yeah. Well, it was great because being away traveling so much and coming back under your terms. Not because you were forced to come back under your terms, and then doing something positive. So it was great. It was great. You know, and you truly appreciate the metropolitan area. Okay.
All right. You coached at Snyder for what? Only 2 seasons, though, right?
No, more than 2.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay. What was that like to coach at your alma mater? You know. Did you say at that time, hey, it's not a bad thing to be here and coaching your alma mater, or was it a little tougher than what you thought?
Well, that's something I really didn't want at the time. I didn't really want to, but once Dr. Epps came to me and asked me, could I do it? And I really didn't want it, but then I thought about it, and I fell in love with the kids, once you get into something, you go all in 100%. You fall in love with the kids, and you want to see them have opportunities like you was given years ago. So it was great.
Okay. And so you got entrenched coaching a little bit, and then you gave it up because the time came for you to go watch your daughter play, right?
Yeah, that was it. I missed 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I missed every game.
Okay.
And then she going to high school, and she's going to start as a freshman. I didn't want to miss it, so I resigned and I volunteered with her. And she played 4 years of high school, 4 years of college. Right.
She went to Hanover Park High School.
Right.
All right. And then from there, she went big time college. Where'd she go? Georgia Tech?
No, she went D2, Malloy in New York.
Oh, okay.
And then she went. Now she got a master's degree and she finished, and I'm free.
Okay. So, but she's got a master's degree. Is she teaching, or what is she doing?
She's teaching.
Okay. Whereabouts?
In the Summit School District.
Okay, Summit. All right. And now you've spent almost 20 years as a teacher in Jersey City, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I started in 2000.
Right. So it's incredible. That 20 years flew by, and you have the dubious distinction of that you got to be the one that handles doing the bad detention on Saturday mornings. And how in the world did you get that gig?
Well, it goes hand in hand. Like I felt like I could make a difference. Like I teach in the grammar school, so the Saturday detention is in the high school. So
right.
A lot of the 14 school I teach at is a transition school for Lincoln. So a lot of those kids I know. Okay. So, you stay into their life and they keep hearing that familiar voice. Hopefully they'll stay straight. So that was my thing.
All right. And you're currently at PS14?
Yes.
All right. What are you teaching?
Phys
ed. Okay. Do those kids have any idea of who you were? I mean, they're too little to. Nobody has ever seen you play. I mean, do you tell them to go on YouTube and look and see highlights of me playing or whatever, or do they have any idea that you played for the NBA for as long as you are?
Yeah, because the teachers tell them, and just like you said, that nobody can lie today because of the internet. And
right.
They go on, and I get upset. Like some of them do book reports on me and stuff like that, and I don't like it because I feel like I'm the only teacher that have to go through that kind of scrutiny. Nobody knows every personal thing about any teacher in there except for me.
That's true. Well,
but that goes with the territory. But I try. Most of them know me for being, Mr. Addison, not Rafael Addison, the basketball player.
Okay. And do you mind that? Do you mind that? Do you don't mind being the guy, the one the kids to look up to and say, hey, oh, look at Mr. Addison played in the NBA.
I don't mind if it comes out naturally, but I just don't want to be out front like that. It bothers me sometimes because I don't like to be an open book all the time.
Okay.
I know it goes with the territory. If you accomplish those things and did those things, it is what it is. But so I accept it.
Okay, because you should accept it. It's a it's a great accomplishment to be somebody, to be a role model for these kids, you know? Like, think back to when you were a kid, Raf. Did you have somebody that you looked up to and said, boy, I would love to be like him someday? Was there anybody like that?
Probably Franklin Walker, because he was like, to me, he was like that Tony Dorsett, that Jim Brown.
Okay.
He was out phys ed. That was in second grade in the early 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy, and then when I came back with my programs in terms of hepatitis B, I was a spokesman and bringing the A+ challenge with Channel 9. I brought him to his school where he was the principal at.
Okay.
So we always kept in touch. But and then now to see him become superintendent of schools, that's some kind of role model.
Yeah. No question. So. All right, so you obviously 20 years of being a teacher. You're not going to retire anytime soon, right? What's it like for you to have two different careers? You had a career as a professional basketball player, and now you have a career as an educator. And is it hard to be able to juggle the both of them, or does one help to take care of the other?
Situation was transition, because when you play ball all over the world and traveling all the time in hotels all the time, now to transition to come back to a regular steady job is a tough thing. But I don't like to eat out. I don't like to stay in hotels. Like certain things, like I explained to you, I don't like hospitals.
Right.
That's the thing you've been scarred for over this long career doing these type of things.
You have every right to stay out of hospitals. After 4 months of being in a hospital as a teenager, you have every right to stay out of a hospital. Matter of fact, I'll sign the permission slip to keep you out of hospital.
I like that.
All right, so now I'm guessing I'm going back. Say I'm going to be 59 this year, so you must be 55. Is that a good guess? Is that a good guess?
Absolutely.
All right. So at age 55, you got to look at your life and say, wow, I've accomplished a hell of a lot. I've had a good basketball career, and now I'm molding the minds of young kids on a daily basis. You must look at it and say, if you get a chance to look back and say, wow, I've really had a great run. I had a great life.
You know what? I appreciate everything, but it's just so much more life to live. Like saying that to me.
No. We're not ready to have you ready to die yet. No, I'm just saying, in terms of, playing the NBA and playing pro basketball overall for 15 years, playing in the NBA for 9 years, and having just the career that you have, and now you have a 20-year career as an educator. That's not a lot of people get a chance to do that.
If somebody told me back then this was going to be the outcome, I would say, pinch me, I got to wake up. Because, and I agree, when I look back, I told you I never really appreciated this stuff until after when I sit down and look back and say, wow. And then I'm looking at how few people can make the NBA. And how people are every day trying to make the NBA. And then the percentages that's against you. And then there's other professional careers too, like being a school teacher, being this and that. And then you're one of those too. So, I look back and I'm only grateful.
Okay. Well, that's as well you should be. And I'm grateful to have known you for so as long as I have and watched your career every single step of the way. And you've nothing but been helpful and respectful to me. And we forgot to mention that not only are you a member of the Syracuse Hall of Fame, but you're also a member of the Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame, which has got to be something that you hold dear. And you've been a great friend over the years, and I appreciate everything you've done. And you are somebody to look up to and somebody to admire. And I appreciate everything you've done. And Raf, I appreciate you giving me an hour and a half, which I never would have expected to have happen. But we had a good time going down memory lane. So thanks so very much for doing this. And we'll obviously see each other somewhere down the road.
I appreciate everything, and thank you for having me.
All right. Raf, keep in touch. And thanks again for being a guest today on the podcast.
You're very welcome.
Take care of yourself.
All right, you got it.
All right. And that was my guest this week was Rafael Addison. And he was a great guest. And we will have more from the Hudson County Sports Podcast in the coming weeks. And I'd like to thank my executive producer, Johnny Haig. Without him, this podcast would never have taken place. And we're now rolling along. This is the 27th one. And it's getting more and more attention. And we're having a lot more fun doing it. So, thank you very much for listening. And please keep in touch with the Hudson County Sports Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.